Marvel has arrived. I mean, the character, Captain Marvel, not the movies. The movies have been around for a decade, but I'm glad that Marvel is finally doing a movie. This is going to be confusing, isn't it? Captain Marvel stars Brie Larson in the title role, finding out what it means to be a true Kree warrior and how her mysterious past may impact her true identity. Took the MCU 20 movies to put a female superhero in the lead. Has it been worth the wait? Well, here's 5 things you might want to know about Captain Marvel. Hey, I'm Aaron Dicer from SiftPop.com, and we're going to go through 5 things about Captain Marvel, a movie that, well, let's just put it this way, I really liked. I had a great time with this. I'm firmly on the side of enjoying this film. Let's talk about some of the reasons why. Number 1, in big bold letters, Brie Larson. She is so good in this movie. I mean, she's pretty much good in everything I've seen her in. But here she's doing that beautiful work that we've seen other Marvel actors and actresses do, where you're taking something fantastical and just making it real, adding that human element to something that is superhuman. She captures the journey of this character so well, which is interesting because it's kind of a confusing journey for the character, not necessarily for us. She captures it so well that you buy into the emotion, and her performance is so good. There were at least 2 moments where I was so into what she was emoting, what she was feeling, that I was feeling it myself, and that's the sign of somebody doing their work well. One of the other things I really liked about this movie is how unique it is. It's a very unique origin story, right? The idea that Marvel has kind of got this system down and has taken some hits actually for doing the same thing over and over again. They are recently putting it out there and going, you know what? We're listening. We're going to do some new stuff. I love the way thematically that this movie presents itself a little bit differently. And by the way, I'm not going to give away any pertinent plot information in order to say this, but I'll just try to walk right around it. But there's a different way that this movie approaches what it's trying to say. There's a different way it approaches the emotion and the empathy of the movie, and structurally, the way it presents this origin story and the twists and the turns that it takes and the story information that it gives you and when it decides to give you that information is so beautiful because it's compelling. And in this case, what I mean by that is it just brings you along the journey, and at every step of the way, you're learning the information you want to learn, and you're excited to go to the next thing and learn the next thing. And that's not exactly an easy thing for movies to do. But this one definitely does it. The other thing I have to talk about, because it's so fascinating, is the de-aging process in this movie. It's brilliant. Look, guys, it's over. Game over. You can put any actor or actress into any movie now and just de-age them. And I think we're going to continue to see this trend more and more. Eventually, it will lead to full-on performances by an actor or an actress who isn't even with us anymore. Eventually, we will see CG films that look like they're live action. I am excited about this. I am terrified by this, but I think it's brilliant. And when it's used as a tool in a story like this one, the idea of bringing Sam Jackson back 30 years, or Clark Gregg for that matter, is absolutely stunning. I think a lot of that is that these actors have a youthful performance anyway. But I think there's something really magic about what movies are able to do now with this kind of thing. And to see Sam Jackson go back to what Sam Jackson looked like in the 90s, it's hard to overstate how much impact that has on buying into the movie and enjoying the process. So nothing but good things so far. Let's do one that could go either way. Now, I said I really like this movie, so you can guess that I actually think this is a good thing. But many might think this is a bad thing, so we'll give it a yellow. I think the superpowers in this movie for Captain Marvel are so over-the-top amazing and mind-blowing that I can see how some would be like, well, then, you know, game over, right? Like, what's the point? But for me, I love that. I don't think you eliminate stakes by changing the power dynamic. Let me explain that a little bit more. People will talk about, well, what stakes are there? Well, the stakes are that the good guys win and the bad guys don't. And just because you're almost sure the good guys will, that doesn't change things for me. I love the end of the first Matrix. I love when Neo goes full Matrix and just can do anything he wants. It makes it difficult for the sequels. And that's where this gets interesting for what happens from here, right? We're not talking about Endgame right now. We're talking about Captain Marvel. And I enjoyed the snot out of Marvel figuring out how powerful her powers were and what she did with them. I thought it was fantastic. So was there anything I didn't like about this movie? Yeah, there's a few things here or there. Some smaller things, but probably the main thing, I felt like it was a little on the nose at times. Now you may ask, well, didn't you say it was unique and fresh? Yes, overall, structurally, but there are moments in this movie where it panders in a way with music choices, some other choices that I felt was a little bit on the nose in one of those ways that feels almost pedantic, where you're looking at it going, okay, I get it. I get what you're saying here. Couldn't we have been a little more clever? Couldn't we have been a little more subtle? There were enough of those moments, a handful of those moments for me, that I do think it's a negative in the film. Overall, though, I had a great time. I love this movie. Brie Larson is so great. I love this character. I'm so excited to see her integrated into the Marvel Universe and what that means for this movie. I give it an A-. Thanks for checking out this SiftPop 5 Things review. You can check out all things SiftPop at SiftPop.com. Movie reviews, best ever challenges, all sorts of fun. The podcast is there as well. That's SiftPop. You can look for it in your podcast player. All that stuff lives at SiftPop.com now. Thank you for your patience as we have transitioned from Your Movie Friend to SiftPop and kind of rebranded and all that kind of fun stuff. Really do appreciate your patience. We should be back to getting out these 5 Things reviews weekly for the most part. So appreciate your patience in that. And you know what else I appreciate? The people who made it possible, the members of SiftPop. If you are a SiftPop member, you're the best. Membership starts at $3 a month, comes with some really fun perks, including a monthly video hangout, bonus podcast episodes that the other podcast listeners don't necessarily get to hear. I shouldn't even say necessarily. They don't get to hear them. It's in your own personal podcast feed. So that's just for you. So thank you for being a SiftPop member. If you aren't a SiftPop member, go check it out at Patreon, patreon.com/SiftPop. See what level you want to be a member at and all the fun stuff that comes along with it. It is much appreciated. All right, on to the best ever challenge, where we name the best ever movie in a particular category, and I'd love to hear your choices. We also have the choices of all the SiftPop movie gurus at the website, SiftPop.com. In honor of Captain Marvel, we're doing best ever movies featuring a kick-butt female in the lead. There are a lot of good ones, and I encourage you to go check the article out. For me, I'm going to go with the one that was a ray of sunshine to a different universe from a long time ago. Take a guess at my answer in the comments. First person to get it right does get that SiftPop point. And as always, I encourage you to subscribe just when the SiftPop logo comes up. Just click it.